Hi, I'm just trying to get everybody in. Hello, hello, everybody. I'm trying to get everybody in. Just bear with me. I'm getting y'all. I'm getting you. Hello. Sorry I was late. I was teaching the class in AGLA. How was the waiting thing in this webinar? Did you guys like that? Did that work okay? Talk to me. Let me know. Because I tried something new so that you guys weren't just in outer space waiting for me to arrive. It's like, quick, end one webinar, start another. Nothing special. Okay, but it worked. You knew I was coming, right? All right, you guys. I have two things I want to talk about today. I don't know, for those of you that sat in the AGLA webinar that I just did regarding courts, hopefully I planted some seeds with people to understand what we're up against in the court system. Cash for keys is the way to go, you guys. I hear horror story after horror story after horror story. And then finally to the point where the landlord's like, okay, fine, I'll settle. What are we going to settle for? And they end up settling for $15,000. Well, how much money did you spend to figure out you needed to just give them 15 grand? I get it. We have no case law. It's scary. Okay. A lot of people don't understand case law and how important it is. 98% of all cases in California are currently being contested. 98%. Everything is being litigated. 2% people are uncontested, meaning they're not fighting you. They'll just go quietly into the night. 98%. Ouch. Ouch. Okay. We want to avoid the bureaucracy and bullshit that is happening in our court system right now. We, the people, have lost our right to a speedy trial. Whether it's fair or not has yet to be determined, but it's not speedy at all, by far. So our brains of, oh, we'll just put them in legal for the last 20 years. Oh, just put them in legal. Oh, they're in violation of their contract, put them in legal. We need to really think about what we're saying. We need to change that mentality. If we do not change that mentality of just going to legal, we're going to end up losing our asset. Okay. Ouch. For those of you that weren't paying attention, basta will settle with you. Their first offer of settlement is $150,000 and 6 months in the property. Yes, Val, asset. I have a lot of play on words, you guys. I try not to be offensive. But sometimes I'm sorry. This career choice can bring out the beast in us, okay? It makes us angry. It makes us frustrated. It makes us stressed. It makes us lose sleep. It can cause anxiety. It does all kinds of things. Welcome to investment property. All right, let me see. I thought I saw a question come through. Do I have to serve the July 2021 COVID notice again for those who have not paid August 2021 rent for the new prospective period? The July COVID notice had to do with Senate Bill 91 and the Tenant Protection Act. If they don't pay August rent, you still need to do the Tenant Protection Act, the COVID 15-day notice, and the declaration. So each time you serve the notice, you have to tell them what their rights are regarding the money. Did that help, Tony? So to answer your question simply, yes. yes. Uh-oh. Val, we're going to need you, so be ready. Which, I can't even read the word and I don't have my glasses on. Candidate, we'll just go with candidate, will help us housing providers the most without destroying our democracy. Well, here's my opinion, and then I'm actually going to turn it over to Val. If Val will say anything, that's on Val, okay? When a candidate is running for office, they tell us what they think they want us to hear to get us to vote for them. Whether or not they're true to their word, well, that's just politics, right? Val, do you have an opinion of who the better choice for governor would be for us? Because I'll tell you right now, Gruesome Newsom's got to go. Val, must vote Republican. To stop the democracy, we need more Republicans in there because they're running rampant. They're doing all kinds of things. They're just, yeah. It's me trying to keep it quiet. I know they're going to try to keep Gruesome Newsom in there. Nancy Pelosi will see that she protects her nephew. No doubt. As for the other candidates, what could I tell you? Pick somebody that's got some pizzazz behind them. What they're saying makes sense. If they're not agreeing that the immigration problem in this state is a problem, we don't want them. If their answer is to tax us all, we don't want them. All right, does somebody try to say something? It didn't come through. Please say it again. Yep, I agree. The Republicans will get stonewalled by the Democratic supermajority. Val's leaning towards elder, but waiting for a Trump endorsement. Okay. Yeah, if I could add 2 cents, I'd say, I can speak English, I promise. Today, questionable. If I had to tell you to go make a decision, I would say just to stay away from the Democratic Party just because they control so much already. That's all. Val, I know you can read right through me, but I'm trying to be politically correct. Caitlyn Jenner doesn't look too bad. Deep breath. What do we think is going to happen with this Delta variant? Are they going to lock us down again? It's the question I get every day. Are they going to lock us down again? I don't know. I didn't think that the government had the power that they had because, you know, we're the land of the free, but I was sadly mistaken. Sadly. I didn't think that they could rewrite our rental agreements as to when our rent was due and take away our late fees and yeah, all over a virus. And I don't mean to downplay the virus because the virus is very real in my mind. I've seen people get affected by it. I've known people that's lost their lives from it. But they said a lot of people are going to get sick and a small amount are going to die. And that's exactly what's happened 16 months later. So what are we freaking out about? Because it happens every year when we get the flu. Are we going to start giving the flu virus a variant number? I mean, oh, they have K164, watch out. Do I believe the virus is real? Absolutely. Do I believe people got sick from the virus? Absolutely. I know several of them. Do I believe people died from the virus? Yes. Do I think we should shut down our state or continue to run rampant? No. No. A lot of people are going to get sick. Small men are going to die. That's exactly what happened. And here we go again with variants now. What do you do, right? All right, let me see what you're sending us. Oh, Republican House members sign a letter urging Biden to let evictions continue, calling them more. Yep, that's right. Supreme Court voted against the moratorium in New York. Yep, And let's talk about that really quick, okay? I saw a brief clip on the news where the police were going through the neighborhoods evicting people out of units, and they pretty much built a line and were just knocking and talking and kicking them out. You have to understand, eviction doesn't go the same way in every state that it does for us in California, okay? In most states, what happens is landlord serves a notice and calls the police. The police come out there and kick them out. And then they show up in court 2 weeks later to testify as to how they left the property. Welcome to New York. Welcome to Texas. Okay? We do things a whole lot differently in California. So when you saw that lift in New York and everybody freaking out because the cops were marching down the street, that's how evictions are done there. It's not rocket science. They're doing their job. Okay. Wish it was that easy for all of us, right? But in other states, the laws are much different. In California, it's heavily litigated. Everything's in the tenant. No. New York, you don't pay your rent. Here's a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit. You're being evicted. You call the cops and say they won't get out. The cops show up and kick them out. And then you give them the summons to show up in court to testify as how they left the property. It's not like here. Here, everything's just so litigated. But yes, they're arguing that in New York because they don't have a cushion. They don't have a bumper. They don't have a buffer. My opinion is the only reason Senate Bill 91 came about, I'm sorry, not 91, too many numbers here. 832, the most recent one that controls us, was just to give the tenants the heads up of, hey, shit's about to get real in about 90 days. That's all you got. Get your shit together. Okay. That's what I saw this last bill as being. It wasn't to extend it for anything other than the fact that they needed a wake-up call that the light at the end of the tunnel is here. Okay. So that's how that happens very, very quickly. So don't panic about what you saw in New York and they were all out there. The judicial system works different than ours does. In Texas, you serve a 3-day notice to pay rent or quit. The tenant doesn't pay and they don't get out in 3 days. You call the cops. The cops come and throw them out. Bye-bye. Okay. This whole thing of going to court happens after you have possession. I don't want to say it's only California that works the way that we all deal with it, but we're one of the most tenant-friendly states in the union. Okay. You know how New York has all those ridiculous rent control laws and all of that? Do you know we're number 2 in the nation for tenant protections? New York's number 1. We're number 2. Okay. Keep that in mind. All right, you guys have questions for me today? Let's feed off of them. I'm getting a lot of questions regarding the anti-harassment laws. Here's what I could tell you guys. Stop using your mouth to get yourself in trouble. Stop it. Stop texting, stop typing, stop emailing. Serve the notice. The notice is you doing your job. Running your mouth, I'm going to serve you a notice. That's a threat. I'm going to give you a notice. I'm going to evict you. Stop. Stop using your mouth. Okay? Change the way you do business. Everything that you want incoming to you should be done in writing. And everything outgoing should be very minimal of what you put in writing. Okay, hold on. I saw something say they got rent relief. Hold on. I received rent relief through April of 2021. What about May through now? Do I create an invoice in bill.com or do I wait for them to pay me? Contact them. Contact them and ask them if there's still payment pending. but I contacted them. Did they pay you 100% of the funds or 80% of the funds that were owed during that time period? They give you 100% of those funds. Okay, so they're doing something right. It's the government, okay? Not trying to bash the government, but just saying they're human, they make mistakes. They don't do things in a rapid fashion. And yeah. Hold on. Oh, right before the recall election. Are you starting to pick up on that too? Isn't it strange, you guys? I mean, don't you think it's kind of weird that hold on, Veronica, I see you have a question. Let me just say this. Don't you guys think it's all kind of weird that we got homelessness as a protected class in the state of California? How in the hell are we protecting the homeless? Now we can't discriminate against somebody that's been homeless for 15 years because they want to rent a room from us? Why did they do that? Because half the state of California is about to become homeless? You think they put things in place because they're going to make a new rule that's going to affect us? I like the way you think. We're all on the same page here. Can we enforce a 3-day to perform for a nuisance on a tenant who is complaining that their neighbors are smoking? What are the neighbors smoking? Crack, marijuana, cigarettes? Help me understand. I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, girl, so just stay tight.
All right, I'm on mute.
Okay,
Can you
you'll
hear me?
unmute.
Yes.
Do they owe you rent money?
No, they don't.
Have you served them for rent money throughout the pandemic period?
Nope. No.
What city are you in?
City of San Diego, and they're both saying this is a senior property.
Contact your legal counsel first, just because the city of San Diego has got as bad as batshit crazy as the city of Los Angeles.
Okay.
And that's just me talking to you. You should be able to serve it on a nuisance because it's disrupting the right to quiet enjoyment for neighboring residents, because the smell is offensive.
Yes.
You like that?
No, I personally don't. I just feel that, because the other person has felt, well, I have a disability. I smoke. I cannot quit. That's what that's the other party is saying.
Okay, so no doctor is going to tell them that they need to continue to inhale a carcinogen. So I'd contact the legal counsel. As nicely as I could say this, their claim is bullshit. I'm sorry, I tried really hard to stop smoking crack, but I just can't.
No,
I mean, you get what I'm saying? But I'm disabled, but I still smoke crack.
well, I know, but this is cigarette, and then I understand.
I don't care if it's senior or not. I understand they're a protected class, but I operate strictly from a fair housing, even Steven across the board. Okay,
so I will just consult because because of the eviction moratorium, I know that it had to be something very huge, right? In order
but if they're disrupting the rights to quiet enjoyment by smoking in the unit and it's disrupting neighboring residents, they have to take into consideration the secondhand smoke that's causing and the third-hand smoke that's causing. So if you have other neighboring residents that are complaining about the smell of the cigarettes,
I'm just one person. Just
one person's complaining.
Yeah,
and where does this person live? Right next to her?
Basically in the same floor.
And does anybody else in the building smoke?
Yes, there's several people actually smokes.
Is it a non-smoking community?
Nope. It has not been assigned as a non-smoking.
So when they move in, that you allow smoking there?
Yeah, as long as there's not in the common areas.
Okay, so tell the tenant that's offended by it, this is a smoking community. If you don't like it, you may want to consider moving because I can't discriminate against it. We allow smoking here.
Okay.
It's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like, and I'm trying not to be an ass here, but this is just me talking. It's kind of like going to a sushi restaurant when you don't eat fish.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, I get you. Yeah.
Okay, so with that being said, you need to approach it that way.
Okay. I will go that
Okay.
way. I'll
It would
probably
be
have
different if it was a non-smoking building and then they were smoking in it, and that's not the case you're telling me. This is
no.
a smoking community.
Yeah,
Is
it
the
has
tenant,
never been assigned as a non-smoking.
is the offending tenant doing anything wrong?
No, they're just smoking.
Okay, so then the offendee, the person
Offendee.
that's complaining,
Uh-huh.
needs to be corrected and told this is a smoking community. Did you not realize that when you moved in? And did you want to give me notice to vacate?
Okay.
In other words, stop complaining to me that the sky is blue and the sun is shining. You knew that when you moved in.
Yes.
Okay. But you're
Okay.
going to have to sugarcoat it the way you approach it. Please don't use the sky is blue analogy.
No.
It was
we'll not
pretty
do
harsh.
Believe me, I don't think it will.
It was pretty harsh. Come on, it's me. Sometimes you're going to get a little bit of sarcasm,
fun,
just
though.
a little bit.
That's why I love it.
Just shoot them. It's quicker. Still not legal, but
Yep.
very much effective when applied properly. I'm glad we can all laugh about this, you guys. Some of it's pretty depressing. Okay, Tony, rent relief beginning August 24th on previously approved tenants will pay for 90 more days at 100%, August 21 of rents owed. Am I waiting to see if they follow through? Good girl, go. Sorry, rent relief will pay from July through September. Good, go, get the money. Get the money, you guys. I don't see another way that's going to help us. That's why I keep telling everybody to go after the government money. And the government is not in your business, just so you know. They want to see that you own the property, you hold title, you're the landlord, they've been paying rent to you, and that they're your tenant. The person that's going under the microscope in this whole government rent relief program is the tenant, not the landlord. The tenant is the one being put through the microscope. They're looking at the tenant's bank accounts. They're looking at the tenant's income statements, not the landlord. So don't fear it. Yes, you pay taxes on the property. You own the property. It's yours. Boom. Now they're in the tenant's business. Your application's simple. They just want to make sure you are who you say you are. That's all. It's the tenants that are under the microscope. And for those of you that get a denial letter, that is golden. It's like Willy Wonka's golden ticket. But please hear me, avoid legal. It's expensive. April, do we have any updates on more monies coming in or being redistributed? HDICLA, I was told, is looking at another round of funds to start taking applications in September. Have you heard anything about that? She may be busy. I saw her get on here, but I don't know if she's still on, you guys. Sometimes she got to take a call, as do the rest of us. So, and I don't, oh, she is on. She's muted though. So she's on the phone. Okay, I figured. So I'm hearing HDICLA is going to reopen for the city of Los Angeles, the applications on the rent relief funds in September. Right now, they're currently not taking any applications. Here's my opinion. Run. When they announce what day they're going to open that, be in line, get up 5 a.m. No joke. Yes, and Long Beach received more money. Yes, you're absolutely right. So Long Beach and LA, and run. As soon as they open that up, run, because when the money's gone, you guys, it's gone. It's gone. Okay. I want my people to have their assets. Yes, Val, I did it twice. Their assets covered. My people. Okay. April said they opened up the application again. I thought they weren't going to open it up until September, but if they did it now, run, you guys, run and go apply. Do I start with housingiskey.org? Yes, you can. Long Beach reopened. Okay, so just Long Beach. LA City has not. If I'm starting with scratch for filing with the funds for a tenant who is behind from 3 months, then go, Val, go apply. LA will open up in September. Yes, Val, that's where you start with housingiskey.org, and then it'll reroute you to the municipality where the funds have been sent for your area. So just wherever it reroutes you to, just follow the roadmap it gives you, girly. And if you need help, we have April that can always help. Lee, hi Lee, I haven't talked to you in ages. A brand new construction medical marijuana dispensary is opening up directly across the street from my duplex in La Mesa, San Diego County. I'm very familiar with La Mesa, did some crime-free housing training there. I know because I researched it on the city website, and the applicant received approval for a CUP. Sorry. I cracked myself up. Hold on. My teeth are gonna hurt. I'm sorry, you guys. I am blonde, and sometimes I just read things funny. And I read that as I researched it on the city's website, and the applicant received approval for a CUP for a dispensary. CUP. It's what happens when you go to the bathroom. CUP. Sorry. The neighborhood has already become rougher with homeless and drug users. My gardener found crystal meth in the front yard. If this were your property, would you sell the duplex now? Would you run? You're asking me a convoluted question. Sell high, buy low. Always number one. You've heard that for decades. You didn't just hear it from me. It's at the highest right now. We're seeing that it's leveling off. For those of you that wanted to take advantage in this market, you better be doing it right now, because it is not going to last much longer. Just my opinion. Why do I say that? Prices are now leveling off. We're not in that battle to get the house. We're not being offered more money at close of escrow. We're not going crazy anymore. So things that were going are now coming down here. And then my opinion, not advice, is that we're most likely going to see it come down from here. It may come down very quickly, but we will see it come down. It can't continue at the rate of inflation that it's going. I mean, builders can't keep paying $22 for a 2x4 and $80 for a sheet of plywood. It's just not going to continue to happen this way. Something has to give. Let me see. I saw something else come through. This was for a tenant who said he was applying for the Indian tribe. I remember talking to you about somebody applying for the Indian tribe. They're Samoan, not American Indian. I forgot what the portion is that they have to have Indian blood in them to get like the Indian gaming casino money and all that. The tenant has to show proof that they applied for assistance. Absolutely. So if he applied with the Indian tribe and he's not providing you proof that he applied with the Indian tribe, tell him that you're going to apply for the federal government. The Federal Tenant Relief Act. I think that's what it is. I have to look up that acronym for them. I'm sure I could make something funny out of it. The FTA, I don't know. Hang on. J Tour, what do you got? Can we do inspections with proper notice during COVID period? Can the tenant deny? Only in LA County. Sorry. You asked me 2 questions and I tried to answer them both in one sentence and that didn't work. Let me try again. Let me go back to your question. so I can read it and answer as we go, because it is 2 questions. Can we do inspections with proper notice during the COVID period? Absolutely. Can a tenant deny? Yes, only in LA County. LA County has in their moratorium that the landlord has lost their right to enter because of COVID. So if they cry COVID, you can't go in even with a 24-hour notice. Most will tell you that they were exposed to COVID. Okay, you guys, what April's trying to tell you is key fact here, so pay attention. Most tenants are going to tell you that they've been exposed to COVID. We've all been exposed to COVID. All of us. Did you wash your hands after you pumped gas this morning? Or how about the last time you used the ATM machine? We're all exposed to COVID. So when they say, oh, I've been exposed, don't panic. Don't flip out. Just say to them, that's okay, so have I. We've all been exposed. We're exposed every time we leave our house. Okay? Yes, April, COVID is their excuse for everything right now. Even in the courts, 98% of all cases currently in the state of California are being contested because there is no case law for COVID. Remember, you guys tracked a lot more flies with sugar than you do with vinegar. What am I trying to say? I think it's honey with the vinegar. Yes, it does suck. It does suck. That's why I'm telling people the justice system is broken. It is just us. You know, just us trying to figure it out. We have no justice. We lost our right to a speedy trial. And whether it's fair or not, let me see if Mr. Cliff's on here. Hang on really quick. Let me just look at who my people are that are on here, because you want to talk about somebody going through something with the tenant. Oh, he's got it. Clifford, you're not on here. Okay, I'm going to talk about you. Sorry. So Clifford evicted his tenant. His tenant's a jerk. He even sprayed him with a garden hose. I would call that assault. The cops didn't think so. Because of COVID. Because of COVID. He now has possession of the unit and the tenant is still trying to sue him. Still. He has to spend, I think he said, another $1,800 or $2,500 to go back to court and prepare for the next round. And he has possession. They got locked out and they're still fighting him. You know why? Who knows why? Because there's no case law. You guys are going to be so sick of hearing me say that. There's no case law. The tenant doesn't have running hot water, but we're going to evict him anyway. No, you're not. That's a habitability issue. We learned that in Green versus Superior Court of California back in the 1970s. Now we know what a habitability issue is, what's considered habitability and what's not considered habitability. We don't have anything that puts COVID in line. Make sense? So they're going to argue everything all the way up to case law because they can. It sucks. Right? Anybody else have anything? I don't want to be the one setting precedents. Setting precedents to what, Val? Case law? You don't. Is that what you're talking about? You don't want to be the one setting precedents? Yep, exactly, Val. I knew you were a smart cookie. I knew I liked you for a reason. None of us want to get involved in a case law case. If you know anything about the legal industry, if you've been involved in the industry in any way, shape, or form, you understand that case law can be extremely expensive and costly. Do you guys remember, and I want to say it was in 2018, we got a new law regarding price gouging during a state of emergency. It's actually California Penal Code 396, subparagraph B. How do I know that? Because I've taught it a lot. That's right, I said California Penal Code. It's not a civil code. Okay, you know, when we have an earthquake and those morons at the gas station are selling a gallon jug of water for $10, it's to bust everybody that raises rates during a state of emergency. We're in a state of emergency right now. We can't do any increases over 10%, or we could be looking at 6 months in jail. I don't look good in orange. Don't know about the rest of you. And a $10,000 fine. Oh, hell no, I ain't paying $10,000 because I goofed. We had fires in Northern California. A lady raised her rent from like $2,000 to $7,000. She did a $5,000 increase because she could. Supply, demand. She raised rent $5,000. She's currently facing 3 counts. So what is that? 18 months in jail off the top of my head? A year and a half, potentially? And $30,000 in fines? Do you know why I say that we don't know yet? It's still in case law. From the fires we had in Northern California 3 years ago. Remember, COVID pandemic, court shut down. We still don't have case law out of that yet. How much money do you think it costs to litigate a case for 3 years? Your attorney wants it. They want all the case law cases they can get right now. They just want one, just one. Stay away from case law, you guys, no joke. And I taught a class for AGLA today on preparing yourself for court. Here's the reality, and I'll give you guys the breakdown just so you know. "98% of all court cases in the state of California are currently being contested. Only 2% in the state are uncontested. There is no case law regarding COVID. Jury trials are being set currently for July of 2022. That's next year, you guys. That's a year from now. 92% of all court cases settle and don't go to trial. 92% settle and don't go to trial. Then why are you using the court system to begin with if you already know the outcome? How much money are you willing to pay to prove that you're right? That's what this comes down to. Is that clicking? Did you hear me? Did I say it in a term you could understand? Because you're right. They're living in their rent free. They're not paying the rent. They're a nuisance. Whatever your problem is, you're right. But how much money are you going to have to spend to prove you're right? Yes, we need to learn to pick and choose our battles. It sounds ludicrous, but it is what it is. By what percent? Okay, hold on, Lee. I see you have a question. By what percent might residential rents decrease due to the immediate proximity of a marijuana dispensary? I would go to your city council and ask for the impact report. You're welcome. The impact report. So when they went and applied for their business license to open the dispensary had to do an impact report on how their business would impact the local economy, whether it would bring up crime, attract deterrence, eyesores, nuisances. Here's me talking to you. Most of the dispensaries that I see have armed security that checks everybody that goes in and out of there, and they don't really hang around in the parking lot. Why do I know so much? I'm gonna fess up right now. I worked in San Bernardino at Fastovic Law Firm, which is right next door to the Cookies dispensary, and in between our office and 7-Eleven. So for me to go get caffeine or sustenance, I had to walk right past Cookies, the dispensary. They have armed security out there. They wand the people before they go in, whatever. There wasn't a lot of riffraff or problems in that parking lot when the dispensary opened. I think that the armed security kept it at bay and kept it out of there, and they didn't tolerate anything. So they walked the building, talked to the people that are San Bernardino. There's a lot of homeless on the streets. Tell them, you can't be here. You need to get out of here. We have armed security here. You need to go. And they would leave. So for the most part, I get what you're saying because it brings in a high traffic level, but I don't see the crime at a dispensary. It would just be a recipe for disaster because those people are armed. Just saying. All depends on the dispensary. But I would check the impact report with the city that gave them the permit to begin with. Seems dispensaries come and go quickly unless it's a mega shop. The immediate community could gather, the media, get the media involved, get your signs prepared and shut it down if you're aggressive. This is true. The reality is marijuana has become legal. Don't know if you guys know this. I think it's in New Jersey and somewhere else. Hallucinogens have become legal. They now have dispensaries that you can go get magic mushrooms in. What the fuck? What the fuck? I got nothing, okay? Nothing coming out of my mouth. Attention, ladies and gentlemen, this just in. Out on the kindergarten fields, we're now offering crack to kindergartners. They're making all these illegal drugs, hallucinogens. What do magic mushrooms do? I'm trying to think. It's a hallucinogen. It's a hallucinogen. Makes them hallucinate. Apparently, it provides some kind of medical benefits. What do I say about all of this? Well, you guys, if everything goes to hell in the handbasket, maybe we all need to become crackheads. I'm playing. I'm so playing. Is anybody laughing with me? Starting October 1st, things will go back to normal. No, Jay, sorry. Government will pay only to the end of September. Yes. The October 1st thing comes with a couple of hiccups. If you want to evict for October's rent and you have not applied for the government program, first you need to apply for the government program before you can evict for October. I know. Or you have to wait 20 days and then file the eviction. So there's going to be a 20-day delay there. If you're in the city of Los Angeles, you have to wait a year. If you're in the county of Los Angeles, you have to wait till April Fool's Day. And in the county of San Diego, you have to wait till April Fool's Day. Okay. But for the most part, it should go back to normal. Hopefully they don't extend it again because of the Delta variant. We are seeing that run rampant. It is actually affecting people I know. Yeah. Not surprising since California has been giving our free needles for years. Yeah. I'm just shocked. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked they made marijuana legal. I get that. But hallucinogens, magic mushrooms, Pretty soon, acid and PCP are going to be able to go to the bar and they're going to serve God knows what to you. Is it okay to increase rents beginning next year in the city of San Diego? The best business practice for you is to wait until April Fool's Day. And I'm not trying to be funny. If the pandemic period ends on September 30th, that gives us 6 months of additional protections in San Diego County. So let's do the math. October, November, December, January, February, March. So April 1st would be the first time that you could serve a notice and it not be considered retaliation. People thought I was joking when I said April Fool's Day. No, it really is April Fool's Day. I don't know if they did that on purpose or not. Why 6 months? Because in the county of San Diego, they passed a 6-month moratorium. In the county of Los Angeles, they passed a 6-month moratorium. In the city of Los Angeles City, they passed a 12-month moratorium. So what am I talking about? Help me help you. Remember all the moratoriums we had with COVID, and this city had this rule and that city had that rule and this city had this rule? They stopped that with the new Senate bill. No more cities can write any moratoriums regarding COVID. Okay? Only the cities that already had moratoriums in place could extend those moratoriums. That would be LA City for 12 months, LA County for 6 months, San Diego County for 6 months. So if you want to raise rents or terminate tenancy without cause, April Fool's Day is the very first time that you could possibly do it and it not be considered retaliatory. And for those of you that are freaking out that there's going to be 6 months put on the end of this because of these moratoriums, here's what you need to know. They're going to put 6 months on this because of fair housing. Wait, what did Patty just say? Hold on a minute, let's talk. If my tenant calls code enforcement, and code enforcement serves me a violation notice because my address isn't clearly listed on the front of my property, I can't terminate the tenancy with the tenant for 6 months or it's considered retaliation. If they call fair housing, if they call the health department, that's current law, you guys. What do you think a global pandemic's going to do? Fair housing is probably going to tag 6 months on the end of this, no matter what. Make sense? Wait 6 months to serve a notice on rent increase or actually increase the rent in 6 months. On April 1st, do the rent increase. Don't even serve the notice during the pandemic period. Remember, there's no case law. Everything's being litigated. You don't want to be in litigation right now. One of our members is in litigation and has possession, and the tenant is still fighting him. Now he has to put together a brief. The attorney wants another $2,500, and he already has possession. Everything is being litigated. What does that mean in simple English? It means your attorney's going to be rich and you're going to be in the poorhouse, so you better be careful. Everything. And oh, we'll talk to the judge. Judge, I'll tell you right now, judges in the state of California are making possession-only judgments. Want me to say it again? Possession-only judgments. So when you're evicting them in court for the money and possession, know that you're only going to get a ruling on possession, not money. The courts are not making rulings on money for the COVID protected period. It's just not happening. That'll be in November in small claims. And I'm telling you right now, wait till March to file your small claims. Don't get lost in the masses, because half of the state of California is going to be filing a court case on November 1st. Here's the reality. You have a statute of limitations of 2 years on an oral agreement or 4 years on a written contract. So you have plenty of wiggle room. Don't run to the courthouse with everybody else. Don't want you lost in the system. Okay, Val, let's be specific. If no more extensions are granted, we can give a tenant a rent increase notice on April 1st. Yes, Val, you're absolutely correct. And once a code enforcement violation is satisfied in many jurisdictions, the cured violation remains on the property record for 2 years. Correct, but you can't terminate tenancy for 6 months after that violation occurred, or it's considered retaliatory. So that's why I'm telling you guys, just add 6 months to the protected period. It's the best business practice. And you can ask your attorney until you're blue in the face, and they're going to tell you until they're blue in the face. The law doesn't say you can't, and they're right. There's no case law. So of course they're going to tell you, go ahead and raise your rent, go ahead and do this, go ahead and do that. They want you to get into case law. There's no rules. I'm telling you, err on the side of caution, avoid getting into litigation. It's not worth the $40 a month that you're going to increase the rent. Cases are lasting a year or longer. How much is that going to cost you? How much money are you going to spend to prove that you're right? Ouch. I hope that clicked. I'm not trying to scare you guys. I'm trying to keep it real. Please don't think that I'm screaming that the roof's on fire, okay? I'm trying to keep it real. So for my Section 8 tenant in San Bernardino County who's been in the property for over a year, I should serve a rent increase notice on April 1st, so it to take effect 60 days later. Yes, I wouldn't even serve it during the pandemic period. Technically, you're in San Bernardino. I'd call the Section 8 worker on October 1st and ask when you can do an increase. You might have to reverse it if you do one and we get case law later. That's how that works. But here becomes my question. If you're in San Bernardino, I'm just throwing out a number. Your rent's $1,000. You're going to increase it $100. We're talking about $100 for how many months? Is it worth it? Does it make sense to do this for a $500 profit versus the $2,500 fine for each month you did the increase that it wasn't valid, plus the $500, plus the litigation, plus the lawsuit that comes with it? Is it worth it? That's what I'm trying to put in your head. You could be $500 richer, or you could be, I'm trying to keep it real, $500 richer. Let's say you settle and you remove it and it takes you 12 months of rent. Okay, you could either be $500 richer, or you could be $40,000 in the hole. You pick. I'd rather do nothing until it's safe. It's not worth the risk for me. And that's just me. Everything is being litigated. People have possession of their houses and the tenants are still suing. They have possession. Tenant was locked out. The tenant is still fighting with everything they got. Do you want to be in that position? I don't. If you want to take the risk and you need to take the risk, by all means, then take the risk. But for me, nope, not happening. I've dipped my foot in that pond and I don't like the temperature of the water. It's too risky. And I mean, come on, we're only talking about our investment property. It's no big deal if we lose it, right? It's just an investment. You'll wait till after the pandemic is period before doing anything. I just wanted a bit of clarity. I'm just trying to keep it very real with you. In the event that your tenant doesn't like it, they could make your life a living hell and cost you thousands of dollars. I'm a little disappointed that Cliff's not on here, so he can't share his story, but he's going through it right now. He is going through it. How can the tenant keep fighting you? Keep fighting you, costing you thousands of dollars in legal expenses when they vacated and were kicked out by the sheriff? They were kicked out by the sheriff and they're still fighting. They're still litigating. He's trying to appeal the eviction. And it could be appealed because there's no case law. It's all clicking. I know it's not the best news, you guys, but we have to retrain our brains. We can't go, oh, just throw them in legal. Oh, serve a notice, put them in legal. Legal is a process. I didn't say anything about free money greedy lawyers. I was a good girl. That was you. Attorneys aren't bad. They're business people. This is an opportunity for them to make money. You can't shame them for that. And let's face it, when we need them, we need them. We will pay them. We need them, just like a doctor. Okay? Don't shame them just because they're in a position to make their businesses extremely lucrative. It's the way the cards fell, you guys. It's not their fault. Okay? I get you. I feel you. I hear you. And yeah, I'm the first one to say it, but all right. Does anybody have anything else? I'm going to end this for today. You guys have a great week, and I will see you on the 25th. And if you guys need anything in the meantime, you guys know how to find me, right? Hunt me down. Remember, error on the side of caution, you guys. We are not out of the woods yet, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? Have a good week. Thank you, you guys. Bye.